In this video, I actually want to show you this collaboration I made with Chris from MMCrypto and Ivan from the YouTube channel Ivan on Tech, and we discussed a lot of very interesting stuff, everything about how the big Bitcoin adoption is going to look like, and also our own price targets for the next big hype cycle. And Chris, he will explain exactly why he believes that Bitcoin could go to $300,000 in the next hype cycle. Ivan believes maybe $100,000 is more likely, and I will also explain why I believe that a couple of $100,000 is a very nice price target for the next big hype cycle top, just like the $20,000 level was our previous top. But all of those very bullish price targets and much more in this video. So if you think that that sounds interesting, then I think that you should definitely go to this video.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here with Moon, with MMCrypto, and today we're going to talk about the next 3 years. Carl, we have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah, hello guys and welcome to the Moon. And yeah, so we're here with these two legends, and yeah, we want to talk a little bit about the next 2-3 years in Bitcoin. So kind of what will happen, not only maybe in terms of price, but also in terms of adoption and in terms of the general sentiment around Bitcoin in the mainstream. Because right now people know about Bitcoin, they've heard about Bitcoin, but when you ask them, rarely do they actually understand what Bitcoin is, right? So what will happen in the next 2-3 years?
They think Bitcoin is 3K, still collapsed, still completely destroyed.
Exactly.
Actually, right now, some people are coming to me and saying, "Oh, it's going good with Bitcoin. Where can I buy?
That's a bullish sign. That's a bullish sign.
That is, yeah. But if it's going to be like grandmas coming to me and asking me where can I buy? Actually, in 2017, a grandma was coming to me and was asking me where can I buy, and I was already thinking, oh man, that might be
the top.
That's embarrassing.
But also when people come up to you and say, hey, what do you think about XRP? I heard XRP is a great buy. So that is also super bullish, but we're not there yet. I don't feel
we need new money in the market. That's actually a problem right now, because we saw the prices increasing, but we didn't really see like new money entering the space. So we need those people. Please come into the market.
But I mean, there are different arguments. You could say that 3K to 14K was new money as well. We still don't know exactly, like so difficult to say what caused the pump from 3 to 14, but new money could absolutely be that.
My theory is that the pump from 3K up to 14K was in fact people who have already been holding Bitcoin and have liquidated and are now buying back in because of FOMO. That's at least my theory. I think that's all, at least the main driver. I think the new people, in my opinion, I think we need to break the all-time high in order for that craze and that hype to come in.
There are some metrics you can look at. For example, the fiat pairings. You saw a lot of volume in the USDT pairings, so that would back up your argument. And also the Google trends are not spiking really high. I mean, Bitcoin is at 55% of the all-time high, and the Google trends are at 20% or so. That's also maybe a sign of people not really Googling by Bitcoin and stuff. And also the fiat pairing volume should be higher when we see new money entering the space. Of course, some new money have entered, but not as significant as we needed.
I mean, a very big change is that you look at television like Bloomberg, like CNN, and other financial news outlets. People are discussing Bitcoin. They're not at the stage where they're still explaining Bitcoin. They're not at the stage where they're still trying to get people to understand what the hell Bitcoin is. Now they're actually talking about Bitcoin as an alternative asset class.
That is true.
So that is interesting. So it could be maybe institutions, like big money coming in as well. They're not going to Google all day long, but they're going to make big moves. So it could be that as well.
That is true. That is actually very true. I also believe that the smart money, the institutional investors, they have been waiting for the bubble to plan out, to come down and then start its next cycle, because they see exactly what we see. They look at the chart, the history, they see the big bubbles, and they are intelligent because they are institutional investors, and most of them have made a lot of money, so they know what they're doing. They are the so-called smart money.
I think that's interesting because, sorry to interrupt, but I remember I saw a video with you and Da Vinci, and Da Vinci basically said that, hey, when you and I miss the boat, we've missed the boat, that's it. But when institutions miss the boat, they bring the boat back.
Exactly. Nice, man. You smashed up the last one.
That's a really good one. Yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed that one. That was a great comment.
In that's actually true,
moment, probably. Yeah, because that's probably true. It's hard to maybe to get the evidence for it, but I mean, why not? They have billions, maybe even trillions of dollars to play with, and Bitcoin is such a small market cap. So if there's any market you can manipulate easily, then it's Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, and it was maybe not even so hard in the end of the descending triangle in November 2018. We didn't need all too much. Then you had Craig Wright with the Bitcoin SV FIAT, and you just needed a little bit like to crush down the support, and then down we went.
Yeah,
like,
I tried to like. Of course, we all know that manipulation is easy. I try to not consider it too much when I do my price analysis because there's just no way of knowing. And if things like this take place over the counter, then there's just no way we can factor it into our analysis. The only type of manipulation that is obvious and we can like see for real, it's on the exchanges. Sometimes we see these big wicks of like thousands of Bitcoin dumping or pumping, and at that point it's obvious. But
especially when you have at the same time some big positions on BitMEX or so opening,
Right.
and someone dumping on on Bitstamp, for example, which is the fundamental of the calculation for the
we've seen
BitMEX
some
prices.
stuff like that.
But it's interesting. They have Bitstamp, they have Kraken as well. Like they have
Bitstamp,
a few.
Kraken and Bitfinex.
Coinbase, I think, right?
Yeah,
I think
maybe-
there are 3 at least.
Yeah, but it's
three.
interesting because I mean all of these are. I mean they're not that big. If you think like Bitstamp and Kraken, it's not like they have the biggest volume. So I think it's interesting that they chose those ones. It's just interesting thought process because if you wanted, it's easier to manipulate them than maybe Binance or something else that is bigger.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, that's true. But also Kraken, I cannot talk for Bitstamp, but Kraken and Bitfinex, they are regulated.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk too much about Bitfinex, but Kraken is kind of legit.
Yeah.
But in the same time, they have Bitstamp and Bitfinex, so it makes not all too much sense. You're right.
Yeah, but all right. So, but back to like the topic about the next 3 years. Look, Chris, what do you think? Do you think Bitcoin will be close to the next all-time high, and what do you think the general sentiment in the mainstream will be?
I think actually we can even see some kind of front running. Some people expect the new all-time high in 2021, but I think it really depends also on the exogenous risks and the exogenous factors like the economy, the economic collapse, the recession, which is maybe upcoming. So this will definitely also impact the Bitcoin price. And I think Bitcoin is pretty bullish in the long run. If you consider 3 years the long run, Bitcoin should be pretty bullish, not only looking at the 4-year cycles, not only looking at the recession, where Bitcoin hopefully will serve as a safe haven. I think Bitcoin is very bullish and will probably reach prices like, I know you were talking about 100K or so. We are a little bit more leaning to the bullish sides, maybe reaching the market cap of gold in the end of the next cycle and then retracing back to prices like 100K, like you
Same,
mentioned.
I believe so too. Like the market cap of gold is a
400?
Yeah,
Okay.
approximately. Yeah, and that would be a reasonable target, at least in the longer term. The question is, will we reach that in the next cycle? And
Yeah, look, I also talk about 380K as gold market cap as the end game.
Yeah.
But question is, will it be like in the next, because next cycle is gonna be not that many years in the future. So will we be that quick? I mean, maybe, but also it feels like if you think 3 years ago, we're in 2016. I mean, 3 years go very, very quickly.
I think
so.
yeah.
For us to jump from here to 380K in that one cycle, it seems a bit unlikely to me.
I think the earlier in that cycle we pump, the less
Yeah.
likely it is to pump so high. And the later we pump, the more likely it is to reach those levels already in the next cycle. But I
Right,
agree,
right,
it's not all too likely to reach those price levels. But if it's in 2021, I think it is pretty much
Yeah, but
likely.
somewhere between 200K or at least 150K up towards 350K, something along those lines, based on previous price action, historical data, wouldn't be that crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, look, also 2016 we were like at $500 or something. Then boom, in 2017, 20K. It was also completely mind blowing. And if somebody told me that hey, it's gonna be 20K in 2017, it would be completely mind blowing.
Yeah.
So it could be a similar thing right now that you know Bitcoin can surprise in many ways that you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that people generally underestimate the long term while overestimating the short term. That's why people get so frustrated in the short term, and they always think that Bitcoin needs to go to 20K right now. So the short term is always this. It has so much weight to it, while the long term is a little bit too much out there, and it's not only in price actually. I think it applies to anything in people's lives that we underestimate the long term while So I think maybe that could also speak for the fact that we could definitely see Bitcoin do extraordinary things because people are not really expecting it. It's just too crazy. Just like back in 2015, like 20K would have been too crazy. But still, probably I wasn't here back in 2015. But people probably were so anxious for Bitcoin to go to $1,000. Like it needs to go to $1,000 like next week.
Right, and then you also had the altcoins and everything else going completely crazy, ICOs and a lot of. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of 2017 hype was due to this, blockchain hype. Blockchain word that unfortunately didn't really become anything yet. And you saw so much marketing for blockchain as well from Deloitte, KPMG, EY, all these big firms trying to sell blockchain solutions, and that of course fueled the Bitcoin price and everything even more. So the question is, what will drive the next pump? I mean, probably could be financial crisis, but we still need something that people can see long-term vision in. Yeah. And so in 2017, I feel like it was like, dApps and all kinds of other things. And right now we're still kind of in the middle. I mean, people are not that, burning passionate as they were in 2017 with this vision. And I'm talking about normal people. They're still kind of, they don't really care about Bitcoin yet. So we do need this burning vision that is really, really capturing people's minds. And last time it was the apps and decentralized internet, all that. And now we need a new one this time around that doesn't disappoint as the dApp times did.
Hopefully the second layer solutions will not disappoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, very quickly, it's an interesting thought because everyone thinks like 400,000, that's prices, they are too crazy. If you measure Bitcoin in MBTC, for example, it's only $4,000, or in Satoshis, it's even lower. So if in the future you are measuring it in MBTC and not in Bitcoin, like 0.001 BTC, then 400,000 is actually only $4,000 for an MBTC. So what matters is the market cap, and then if you change the denomination, you just realize that everything like that is only psychology.
That's actually true. It makes much more sense to predict the price in terms of market cap.
Yes.
So basically, when will Bitcoin reach $1 trillion or $20 trillion? That makes much more sense because at that point you can also compare it to other markets, because 400K you can't compare that with anything else because it will be another market cap and it will have another supply. So yeah, market cap is definitely more important, and maybe that's what we should be predicting. But yeah, the .com bubble, I think that was like an 8 trillion bubble. So the next big blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin bubble, I'm pretty sure we can at least break 8 trillion, and I think somewhere along the lines of 20 trillion is possible because now we have a global market. Anyone can participate in all countries around the world, not only the richer people in like the US, which predominantly were the force behind the .com bubble. So yeah, we have a global market, and that makes me really bullish because all people in the world eventually will be able to participate.
Yes. My Moonboy heart is just so happy.
Yeah. So your prediction was like 300K?
For the next cycle, if we really top out rather a little bit later than earlier, then yes, 300K is very likely.
And you're leaning more towards the 100K?
Yeah. But I wish we had someone who could say like something bearish so that we would not all be, because we're kind of all in agreement. But it would be fun to have.
And we are heavily incentivized because we all have crypto channels. Our job is like...
We need some leadership right here.
Yeah. We have no job.
We need Tone Vase standing right here.
Yeah, where's Tone Vase?
He loves Bitcoin, but
I know.
he's not very positive at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put myself in the middle. I'll say 200K, 250K. So yeah, there you have it, guys. All of our next hype cycle predictions, and I think that was it. If you don't have anything else to say, guys.
Thank you for having us on, man. Your community is amazing. It will be great to jump in your comment section and check out what is going on there.
Yeah, and also we created 3 videos, so go to Ivan's channel and Chris's channel, links down below, and watch all of those three videos.
Yes, perfect. Join the MMCrypto team. Thanks for watching.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and just like it says down here on Ivan's mug, smash the likes down below, leave a thumbs up, and please comment what you thought about these price targets. Are we too bullish? What do you believe is a likely price target for the next hype cycle? And please remember that this is only the price targets for the next hype cycle. We all believe that Bitcoin can go much higher than a couple of $100,000 in the long run, and yeah, but you already know all about that because most of you are probably already a follower on my channel. But if you are a new viewer, please click subscribe down below. I make daily videos about Bitcoin. Yeah, so every day a new video about the technical analysis and fundamental analysis about Bitcoin, and also maybe some macroeconomics every now and then. But yeah, this was it for this video. Please leave a thumbs up, and if you haven't seen my Bybit tutorial, click right there right now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.